happened? Oh, I didn't know the revenue man is here. Hold up. God damn it, hold up. The revenue man is here. Hold up. This is the revenue man. Remember I said when I was telling my last one, I said, what's that man's name? What's the name of the shirt? There it is right there, the revenue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a hater by a long way. I want everybody to continue to buy the revenue shirt.
Black-owned business, support your brothers.
Oh, you heard him then. Black-owned business, report your brothers.
Lilhaitifilms, Cappuccino in New York, bringing you a special guest this evening, or this morning. So I just want you just to introduce yourself and just tell us who you are.
My name Booby. I'm born and raised around here, and my mama named me Booby. I got a couple other handles that I don't want to talk about, but my new name is Revenue.
Revenue?
Yeah.
Alright, so I just want to ask you right now, you said you were born from Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, I'm born in, we don't even call it Los Angeles, it's called, I'm born in the 60s. Born and raised.
Okay. Tell us some of the schools that you went to.
I went to 59th. I went to Horseman. I went to Crenshaw. And I graduated from Hawthorne High.
Alright. So, first I want you to just tell us, who were some of the guys that you looked up to and who you feel was most dominant when you were growing up back in the 60s?
When I was growing up, I didn't know nothing but shit, Big Snoop and Cappuccino. That's all I knew. I didn't really know too, like, it was like a family thing. I didn't know like outsiders, like I only knew like my family.
So, who was Cappuccino to you?
Cappuccino is one of my mom's older brother.
Okay. Now, you tell us you went to 59. How was it going to 59th back then? Did you see any of the well-known OGs from the 60s back then?
Yeah, that was like predominantly, it was a hangout. Like the big homies used to be at the school playing basketball, shooting dice. You know what I'm saying? They had the ice cream man back there named Holly. He had chili cheese fries and, you know what I'm saying, food on the truck. And it was like a hangout, bro. Like down in the AGs, it was a hangout. Every block, it was 15 or you knew somebody. 15 to 20 people on each block, you knew somebody.
Alright, now that's 59th Street Elementary School. Now what about your Crenshaw days?
Crenshaw days was fun. Like I had a couple family members that went there. A lot of homies, and it was dangerous because we were young and it's predominantly like in Blood neighborhood. So we used to like have to get across Slauson like to make it to like the village to feel safe.
So you telling us right now that Crenshaw is basically like Crenshaw High School is basically the Blood neighborhood?
Yeah, that back street right there, which is 50th and like 9th Ave. Yeah.
And what neighborhood, what bloodhood is that?
That's the V&Gs.
Okay. So you and some of your friends to get out of Crenshaw, what was some of y'all hangout places back then?
Pioneer Chicken, the shopping center, and the village, and we'd go home.
And what years was this?
Just like 90, 94, 95.
And in 94, 95, how exactly was Dorset Village back then? People don't really talk about Dorset Village too much.
Dorset Village had no gates.
No gates?
No gates. We used to ride our bikes through there and jump the chains and all that and just chill in there, smoke and chill in the laundry room and stuff. It was just like basically like a project in the 60s that we didn't have.
Right. Hey, the same question for what about, you know, well-known blocks like 10th Avenue and Bryanhurst in the 90s and the 2000s? In your opinion.
I did a little hanging out on all those blocks. Like, because I couldn't hang out on the block that I grew up on, which is predominantly 6 and 7. But 10th Ave was the major hangout. Why? Because it was apartments. Bryanhurst was rolling, so, and my auntie Rita stayed up there, so I had somewhere to go. So I stayed going up the way, and it was, you know, it was money to be made, you know, dice games, chill. It was just, it was fun.
So Bryanhurst and 10th Ave was basically those blocks back then, in your opinion?
Yeah, those blocks was the blocks that you had to be somebody to hang on.
Right.
You couldn't just be anybody hanging on those blocks. And 10th Ave, people were scared to go on that block.
Right. Okay. I want you to, a lot of people don't talk about the homegirls from the rolling 60s. Can you tell us something about some of the females that you kind of fond of that come out of that area?
My older homegirl is Lisa Payne. That's my OG homegirl. Like, as far as like my aunties and my mamas and all them, I look at them as like my OG homegirls too. Right. Whether if they bang or don't.
Right.
It's just the fact that that's who took care of me. But as far as like the OG crib-led homegirl that a nigga know and used to be at their house as a kid and change your pamper and, you know, watch you when your mama was gone. Yeah, Lisa Payne.
Okay. Yeah, I'm speaking about the 1990s. Who would you say was the rolling 60s biggest opposition back then when you were banging and hanging out to?
We was our own oppositions. We was our own oppositions, bro.
So it wasn't the Trays, the Hoovers, or the
Nah.
Boys. The 60s was y'all.
No. We didn't have no problems with. We had problems with each other. We didn't have no problems outside of the camp.
Okay. So right now, I still want to stay in the 90s, but I want to ask you about the 1992, not the Watts riots, the 1992 Los Angeles riots. Where were you and what were you doing?
At that time, me and my mom, we stayed on Century, and it was the riots. And I really was out looting. I was like 12 years old at the time, and I really was out looting. And I learned how to drive that year because my dad had me ride around I was the driver while he was going in stuff, and that's how we was able to eat and put food on the table, and John's Market and a fish market, and you know, to fill up them deep freezers that the grandmama had in the back.
That was you in 92?
92.
Okay. Alright. I want to stay around this same time. Because in this neighborhood, Nipsey Hussle gets a lot of credit for, you know, being a businessman, you know, taking everything to the next level. But I want to shine a little light on one of your G homies from over here that had his own business in the 90s. And that's Keita Rock. You remember his store on Florence, the playground?
Oh yeah, I remember the playground. Used to have lots of basketball games and lots of celebrities come through there. Big venue. Yeah, that was one of the biggest spots around here.
Is it true that President Bill Clinton came up there? Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, Bill Clinton was there.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, Bill Clinton was there. And a little bit of everybody else, from Jim Brown to Maxine Waters and a little bit of the heavy hitters came through there, man. Reggie Jackson might have even been through there.
Okay. Hello. This next question is, I heard you have a grandmother off 6th Avenue and a grandmother off 7th Avenue. So you're formerly from all the 60s. What block would you say you claim? 6th Ave or 7th Ave?
I'm from the 6th block. The reason why I'm from the 6th block is because, like, it wasn't no hanging out on 7. Like, my granddad was real strict. Like, he was in the military, and he was real strict. And he wasn't having no hanging out. In my era, it wasn't no hanging out on 7. So we hung on 6 because it was like a family, and we knew everybody on the block. We had like 6 or 7 houses that you could go to, eat, spend a night. So I predominantly cling more to my hillside of my family.
So can you tell us something about 6th Ave? Because everybody talks about AG, 10th to Dime, BG, Barefoot overs. But can you personally shine some light on 6th Ave for us?
6th Ave, it's the 6th block. It's no other block around that's been around since the day one. We had like older people. It wasn't really no youngsters, all OGs. Like, it wasn't all OG heavy hitters. It wasn't no little, we was all kids. But all the OGs that hung out on the block, everybody come on the block. I'm not gonna say no names or this or that, but everybody come on the block because it was a hangout. It was girls that lived on the block, and we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses just between 60th and 62nd.
I was talking to you off camera, and you was telling me a story about Tupac came on 6th Avenue. Great legendary Tupac Shakur. Can you tell us a little something about that night?
Yeah, my Uncle Bubba Loke, he does comedy, and he knew Tupac personally. And when my grandmama Miss Hill passed on 6th Ave, I can't really recall what year it was, but I was little, and he actually came in my grandmama's backyard and sung "Dear Mama," like live, like.
So we gotta get this straight. The great Tupac Shakur sung "Dear Mama" live in the backyard on 6th Avenue.
Yes.
After when he just came over with your Uncle Bubba, you said?
Yeah, Uncle Bubba knew him personally. I don't know how he met him or this or that or all that, but Tupac was actually in my grandmother's backyard, sung "Dear Mama," after my grandmama passed.
Oh, that's big. Shout out to Tupac for rapping "Dear Mama" after his friend's mother passed. That's big. Okay, I gotta ask you about these legendary original West Side Crips. Their names are well known. They're all over the internet already. And the first one is Barefoot Pookie. You got the memory of Barefoot Pookie back then?
Yeah, Angela White. Yeah, I've been around Angela White for a minute. I actually helped to publish that book, Crip and Christ. I took him to the library down here on 39th and Western and helped him publish that book. That's like my uncle.
So would you say Barefoot Pookie is the real deal?
Yeah.
Everybody says he is?
He the truth. He the truth. I can't speak for everybody else, but yeah, he the truth.
Okay. Yes.
He the only one I know started 3 or 4 gangs, not just one gang, but he formulated 3 and 4 gangs. I ain't gonna put the gangs out there, but yeah, he started them gangs. 4 gangs in South Central Los Angeles.
That's big. Okay, now, there's rumors that there's a famous rapper over here named Newport. There's rumors that you two are brothers. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Me and him we got the same dad, different moms. And yeah, that's my little brother.
I want to stay in the 90s. It was a well-known club, but it was just in the 60s that I always hear about. And it's called the Soda Pop. And I just want to know if you heard of it, and if you do, can you tell us, a little something about it, and where was it located?
Man, the Soda Pop bring back a whole bunch of memories because we used to walk there. We used to stop at 7th Ave liquor store, get our liquor, whatever we gonna drink for the night, and it'd be like 7 or 8 of us. And it was located on 6th Ave and 54th. And it ain't no telling what might happen at the Soda Pop. The Soda Pop really gonna pop. And we used to have fun. We used to party. We used to party there. That was like the spot.
And Would you call that B&G hood or neutral? What would you call that?
Well, 2 blocks is V&G's. We on 54th. So they start, you know, Van Ness Park goes to Arlington, and then a couple blocks 4th Ave. Like that's borderline. That's like.
So it was a little dangerous back then.
Yeah, it was dangerous. Yeah, it was dangerous.
I want to go back to 7th Ave. You know, we talking about a lot of gang members. I want to speak about, you know, some of the positive things and people that come on 7th Ave. Now, is it true that Steve Urkel, you know, for Family Matters, that he born and raised in the 60s too? He lived on 7th Ave?
Yep. Jaleel White stayed about 6, 7 houses down from my grandmama house. Miss White and Mr. White is his grandparents, and his name is Jaleel White, Steve Urkel. Yeah.
Y'all hear that, fans? Y'all think Urkel was just a square, but Urkel born and raised in the rolling 60s. Now, I want to keep it on 7th Ave. There's a lot of history come on 7th Ave. What about the 3-time MLB champion, 8-time All-Star, Darryl Strawberry? Did you ever see him or his family on 7th Ave?
Yep. Darryl Strawberry, I know his brother, you know what I'm saying? And but actually, my grandmama house on 6 is diagonal from Darryl Strawberry. Like say if our backyard is right here, if you jump the gate this way and jump the gate this way, you would be in Darryl Strawberry backyard.
That's how close you guys were?
That's how close we were.
I want to go back to when you was a little kid, just, you know, riding your bike around the neighborhood, eating policies, however you did it. Who were some of the guys back then that were known for being good fighters and having hands?
Good fighters. I gotta say Big Snoop.
Big Snoop?
Yeah, I done seen him put a lot of people through it.
Okay. Now what about, who were some of the guys that were, you know, the buffest, driving the most iron? Because, you know, with the G's, it was all about building your body and lifting weights. Who were some of the guys that was known back then for just
Michael Keith.
Michael Keith?
Yeah, Michael Keith was in like the 300 and 400 club back then.
Right. All right. I just want to ask you about some 60s that's resting in peace, just to see if you know them, if you know, have any love or something you want to say about them. The first one, Lil Monk.
Lil Monk. I remember Lil Monk as a kid. You know, he was real close with my uncles, my dad and them. I remember the funeral in '95. And actually, I was a little kid, and I remember him getting shot and killed on 7th and 60th on the bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna go to somebody else that DJ Quick brought up in the song. You know, he was well known in the 60s, well loved, and that's Big Bo D. Do you have any memory of Big Bo D?
Yeah. That's Kelly Jamerson. Stayed on 8th Ave. Yep.
So Big Bo D is an 8th Ave.
Yep. A couple houses down from 8th Ave liquor store. And he was a real known reputable. Yep. I remember that. That was 95.
95?
Yeah.
Because I remember that DJ Quick made that famous song where he gave him a shout out.
Yeah, that was 1995. I was in the 10th grade.
Okay, now that you're older, you know, you've changed, you're going to get into your business side. I just want to ask you now, looking back, are there any Damus, Hoovers, or trades that you have respect for? Whether it's growing up, related to, through marriage, however, you know, the relationship came, or whatever, in jail, whatever it is.
I really don't know too many enemies.
You stick to yourself, basically?
Yeah, I don't say I stick to myself, but I don't really have a problem with no enemies. Like, I never really had to go through, like, the enemy. Like, I never had to go through that.
Okay. Now, this is just a the entertainment side, I just want to, get your opinion. How do you feel about Charleston White and the things, you hear him say about Tookie and Tookie Kids, or Raymond Washington, or whoever he's talking about at the moment? Do you feel like other people that Charleston's just a comedian, he's just getting his money, he's just running his mouth, or do you take it a little personal, some of the things that I said?
I don't take nothing personal that these YouTube bloggers like say, oh, Nipsey wasn't a legend, and this or that, or like, I really don't be really paying no attention to that, bro, to the politics. Like Charleston White, they can do what he do, say what he say, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna stay on it. This guy is known, like he's a celebrity now, but he's a Crip too. And he's well known in that Cmac. Do you have any thoughts on Cmac? Do you respect his Cripping? You think he the real deal? You respect his hustle? Or you just don't have an opinion at all?
No, Cmac straight. That's my boy. He keep it 55th straight. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know what I'm saying? He gonna keep it hood straight. I just need him to start saying revenues instead of increments.
Tap in, look.
Yeah, get some of these revenues, man. We know you on your increments, but I need you to tap in and get some of these revenues.
You're a busy man, you gotta go. But before you go, I need you to tell me what made you start your own line of clothing. I see your hoodie you have on. It's a nice hoodie, revenue.
Thank you, bro.
What made you, want to transition from being a Crip and everything that you've been through and how you, relating and connecting to all this hood stuff? What made you just completely switch reels and I'm about to just start my own business and go hard that route?
I just never wanted to depend on others. No matter if it was the hood, my parents, or whatever. I just wanted to be independent and, stand on my own and just, instead of buying Nike this or Nike that, I might as well rock my own stuff. And I've been doing good.
It's done. All right. Before we let you out of here, is anything you want to say to the kids or to the ladies or to the G's? Any type of message you want to put out there? Anything on your heart? It's your time right now.
Yeah, I want to put out a message to the kids. Like, don't do drugs. I want to put a message out to the kids. Don't do drugs. Don't gangbang. Go to school. And listen what your parents got to tell you. That's my word of advice to the kids. Grown-ups, they already set in their own ways. A man gonna do what a man gotta do.
All right, so fans, that's Mr. Revenue. We just wanted to introduce him today. He has a lot of history. We might bring him back for another episode. We don't know, but that was good looking out today. We appreciate you, Mr. Revenue.
Y'all welcome.
All right, until next time.
All right.